Sabrina here is a 17-year-old white Bengal tiger. She's the most emotional tiger at our sanctuary, and as such, her moods are highly variable. So she's always a challenge to work with because her mood changes from one day to another. They're quite dramatic at times. Hi, Dada. She can be very affectionate. She can also be a very aggressive cat if she's in a bad mood. So I have to gauge her mood every time I'm with her and interact accordingly. Sometimes I get very close to her, lay down with her, sit down with her. Sometimes I stay 5 or 6 feet away from her. Right now, she's in a pretty good mood. And on times like this, she just likes us to have nonverbal communication and interaction between ourselves. She likes to hear my voice. She likes to hear me talk to her. Frequently, she'll just lay down and go to sleep and get very comfortable. A lot of times, she'll like to take her paw as she goes to sleep and put it on my hand. I sit down there beside her. I'm being a little more careful right now than I would be were there not somebody here with a camera, which is kind of bothersome to her. She likes us to be alone. Several of our cats are like that. They consider it somewhat patronizing to be put on exhibit, so to speak. So the way I'll work with a cat like her is just stand here, be a source of security and comfort to her. Let her know that my presence isn't going to irritate her. Good girl. She's got a sense of humor as well. She can do things that are very surprising. One time about 10 years ago, she was sleeping here in her cave, and I was sitting beside her, and she was sound asleep. So I got up and walked over to the gate, which is over about 50 feet away. And since she was sound asleep, I didn't bother to look back. And as I was opening the gate, I felt a bump against my backside and turned around, and she was looking right at me with this look in her face that, just as well as if she'd used English, said, you know, if I'd wanted to, I'd have jumped you on the back. You've got to be more careful. And after that time, for about 6 weeks after that, I checked to see if I was watching when I walked off. So she's just going to lay here, and she's going to go to sleep in a minute. So I'm just going to let her be. But the time I spend with an animal like this is usually 15, 20 minutes at a time until I see she's getting more relaxed and comfortable. I like to see them do that before I leave them. There she's going to sleep. So that illustrates exactly what I was talking about. In other words, the longer I'm with them, the more comfortable they get, and it's so soothing to them that the great majority of the time that I'm in with a cat like this, they end up going to sleep before I leave them. I didn't know if she'd do that with a camera person present, but obviously she did. So this is typical of what I consider a perfect emotional enrichment interaction. In other words, this is more enriching to her and creates a better quality of life for her than any amount of physical items we could give her to play with. I find with most of the animals I work, the more time I spend with them and the closer I bond gets, the less interested they become in any thing like a boomer ball or something hanging from a tree. She rarely plays with her toys anymore. She's got a swimming pool behind me with a couple of balls in it. She plays with them from time to time, but not nearly as often as she did before we developed our relationship. Now she's going to sleep until I leave. Bye, darling.